Hello, seekers of truth. I am Socrates, and today I propose an introspective journey that, I hope, will illuminate your minds and hearts. To ensure we don't get lost on this path of reflection, and for this message of wisdom to reach and illuminate more lives, please like this video and follow the channel. Wisdom, much like self-knowledge, is a flame ignited when shared. Together, we can expand this light, unveiling the illusions that so often obscure our perception of reality and ourselves. Why, my dear friends, do we boast of knowing so much when, in truth, our understanding of ourselves barely scratches the surface of existence? This ignorance disguised as certainty is one of humanity's greatest and most insidious tragedies. A comfortable self-deception that prevents true progress. It's like a man who claims to be a master navigator but has never even glimpsed the vast ocean. He might have read every map and memorized theories, but his real experience, his genuine contact with the waters, is nil. His supposed wisdom is merely an elaborate pretense. I observe with melancholy and profound concern how the vast majority of people navigate their lives trapped in a persistent, often unconscious bubble of self-deception. They cling tenaciously to superficial opinions, to beliefs inherited without critical questioning, and to a distorted yet pleasing image of who they truly are. To challenge these deeply rooted convictions is, for many, like disturbing an ant colony. Resistance emerges immediately, and irritation becomes palpable. They prefer the sweet, albeit illusory security of their fantasies to the bitter, challenging truth. I vividly recall when the venerable oracle of Delphi declared me the wisest man. I was genuinely perplexed and troubled by such a pronouncement, for my only true and unwavering certainty was that, in essence, I knew nothing with absolute conviction. Driven by this strange and intriguing prophecy, I began my tireless pilgrimage through the streets and agoras of Athens, engaging in profound conversations with renowned poets, skilled artisans, influential politicians, and the most eloquent sophists, earnestly seeking someone unquestionably wiser than myself. What I discovered was a truth both profound and unsettling. Those who were widely considered wise, or who proclaimed themselves to be so, in fact demonstrated a deep and at times surprising ignorance regarding the most fundamental questions of human existence. They spoke with great eloquence and rhetoric about complex concepts such as justice, virtue, and beauty, but when pressed insistently about the true and intrinsic meaning of these words, their answers quickly evaporated like smoke in the wind. It then became evident that their certainty was inversely proportional to their genuine knowledge, a facade built on fragile foundations of presumption and superficiality. The subtle yet profound irony, my dear friends, is that my own wisdom lay precisely in the lucid and constant awareness of my own vast ignorance. By humbly acknowledging that ultimately I do not know everything and that there is always more to learn, I genuinely open the door to true learning and discovery. Conversely, one who naively believes they already know everything, who considers their knowledge complete, intransigently closes themselves off to any new truth, to any new perspective that might enrich their understanding. It's like a cup that is already completely full. There is no room left for even a single drop of new wisdom. How often, my friends, do we find ourselves deeply engaged in fervent and passionate debates about complex subjects whose surface we've barely scratched? We express vehement and unwavering opinions on politics, religion, science, or morality, often based on partial, distorted information or on prejudices deeply ingrained in our minds. This false wisdom, this illusion of complete knowledge, not only makes us excessively arrogant and uncompromising, but also prevents us from engaging in genuine, constructive, and truly productive dialogue, transforming the pursuit of truth into a mere competition of egos rather than an enriching exchange of ideas. Consider for a brief moment the intricate and almost unfathomable complexity of the human being. We are a tangled web of multifaceted emotions, intricate thoughts, ardent desires, and deep fears, ceaselessly shaped by a continuous flow of past experiences and driven by future aspirations. How then can we claim to know ourselves profoundly, to have unraveled all our own mysteries, if we can barely comprehend the intrinsic and often subconscious motives that propel us to act in a certain way at a given moment, or to react to specific situations with emotions that seem to arise from nowhere without an obvious or rational trigger? How many times in your lives have you acted in a way that, afterward, you couldn't logically or coherently explain, feeling almost like a stranger to yourself? Or experienced overwhelming emotions that seem to appear out of nowhere without an apparent trigger or rational explanation? This, my friends, is the vast and often frightening abyss of our lack of self-knowledge, an unexplored territory within our own psyche. We navigate the turbulent waters of existence without a clear map, blindly trusting an intuition that, at times, proves to be flawed and betrays us, leading us down paths and decisions we don't fully comprehend. This ignorance disguised as certainty isn't merely an individual problem confined to one's personal sphere. It reflects and amplifies across the entire structure of society, causing deep fissures and dysfunctions. The escalating tensions, the incessant conflicts between groups and nations, the apparent inability to reach significant consensus on crucial issues that affect everyone, all of this finds its deepest roots in the generalized lack of self-knowledge, both individual and collective, and in the intellectual arrogance that hinders listening and mutual understanding, often leading to irreconcilable divisions. True and authentic wisdom, contrary to what many believe, does not reside in possessing all the answers to life's grand questions, but rather in knowing how to formulate the right questions, those that genuinely open doors to understanding. It resides in constantly questioning one's own convictions, in doubting established and unexamined truths, and in ceaselessly and tirelessly seeking a deeper understanding of oneself and the complex world around us. It is, in its essence, a continuous and dynamic journey, not a static destination where one attains a final, absolute truth. Therapy, meditation, the study of philosophy, mindfulness practices, these are all valuable tools and paths that can significantly aid us on this arduous yet profoundly rewarding journey of self-discovery. They invite us in different ways to delve into the depths of our inner being, to confront our internal demons, our shadows and deepest fears, and to unravel the complex mysteries that dwell within us, within our own souls. It is a work that demands courage and persistence, but one that, ultimately, proves immensely rewarding, truly transforming one's life. Make no mistake, my friends, about the depth and relevance of the imperative "know thyself." Far from being a mere cliché or a worn-out platitude, it represents a categorical imperative, the very solid foundation for an authentic, fulfilling, and truly meaningful life. Without this essential self-knowledge, we are like actors who, day after day, faithfully perform their roles on life's stage, but who never truly come to understand who they are behind the mask of their personas, living an existence of mere representation rather than one of genuine essence. This profound and often underestimated lack of self-knowledge invariably makes us vulnerable to all forms of manipulation, both external and internal. If we don't truly know who we are at our core, what our fundamental values are, and what our boundaries entail, we are easily persuaded and convinced by those who claim to have all the answers, by charismatic leaders, or by seductive ideologies. We are then swept away by fleeting trends, by empty ideologies, and by illusory promises of happiness or success. Ignorance, my dear friends, is the fertile ground where tyranny and oppression flourish and take root. Many individuals, in their incessant pursuit of happiness, seek it exclusively in the external world. in the accumulation of material wealth, in fleeting fame, in momentary sensory pleasures, or in social recognition. However, I tell you with conviction, true and lasting happiness resides in a profound understanding of oneself, in harmony with one's own being. How can you truly be happy if you don't know what genuinely satisfies you at a deeper level? What truly moves you? What gives you genuine and lasting purpose in existence, and what really makes your soul vibrate in tune with your highest ideals? When you truly know yourself, when you deepen your understanding of your own motivations, virtues, and flaws, your life choices naturally become more aligned with your deepest and most authentic values. Your existence, then, acquires a new meaning, a clear new direction, and an unwavering purpose. You cease to be a boat adrift, at the mercy of the waves and winds of chance, and transform into an experienced navigator who not only knows their destination, but also possesses the wisdom and autonomy to chart their own course, with conviction and determination. Intellectual humility, my friends, is the master key to true progress and the continuous expansion of knowledge. It manifests as the sincere, unpretentious acknowledgement that there is always so much more to learn, so much more to comprehend, and that the universe of knowledge is vast and inexhaustible. It is the genuine willingness to abandon old beliefs, however comfortable or deeply rooted they may be, in favor of new truths, no matter how challenging or even uncomfortable they may initially seem to our intellectual and emotional comfort zone. I invite you, therefore, with all my spirit, to courageously embark on this challenging but profoundly rewarding adventure of self-knowledge. Begin this journey with seemingly simple questions that nevertheless carry an immense weight of meaning. Why do I think what I think? What are the true reasons why I feel what I feel? What, in my deepest essence, truly matters to me and gives meaning to my existence? The answers you find, my dear ones, may profoundly surprise you and open new horizons of understanding about who you truly are. Always remember my most essential maxim, for it echoes through the centuries with timeless truth. The unexamined life is not worth living. And the unexamined life, my friends, is precisely one where ignorance hides and cleverly disguises itself as certainty. A dangerous illusion that prevents us from unraveling the most important and complex person in the entire universe, yourselves. It is in constant self-analysis and reflection that true freedom resides.